This is Leonard Fraser being arrested for the murder of Natasha Ryan. And here, we see Natasha Ryan alive and well, many years after her supposed demise. So, what really happened? Let's find out. Welcome as we take a deep dive into a mind-boggling mystery. Today, we're turning the clock back to the late 90s in Rockhampton, Queensland, where a teenager named Natasha Ryan went from a quiet life to the center stage of a shocking disappearance. If you're into gripping stories, click that subscribe button, and let's unravel Natasha's tale. The day Natasha Ryan vanished into the Queensland air, she left behind a trail of questions and a nation hanging on the edge of hope. That fateful day in August 1998, when a young girl of 14 stepped into the unknown, marked the beginning of a story that would grip Australia for years to come. Picture this: Rockhampton, Queensland, 1998. A quiet town marred by fear as a notorious serial killer, Leonard Fraser, terrorized the community. In the midst of this chilling atmosphere, Natasha Ryan, a 14-year-old troubled soul, vanished without a trace. The community, already gripped by Fraser's sinister activities, feared Natasha had become another victim in this grim saga. Troubled past. Natasha Ryan's story is one that captivated the nation. Born in 1984 in Australia, Natasha's troubled past began at an early age, painting a complex picture of the challenges she faced growing up. Natasha's early years were marked by struggles, with reports suggesting that she experimented with drugs at a young age. The combination of a tumultuous family life and personal challenges led her down a difficult path. At the tender age of 14, Natasha found herself in a relationship with a 22-year-old boyfriend, a concerning situation that raised eyebrows. This age difference and power dynamic created a scenario that added to the complexity of Natasha's troubled life. The age gap between Natasha and her boyfriend not only raised ethical concerns, but also added to the challenges she faced. The influence of an older partner can significantly impact a young person's decision-making, making this a crucial aspect of Natasha's troubled past. Natasha's family life was far from stable. Her parents were going through a difficult divorce, creating turmoil in her young life. The emotional strain of witnessing her family break apart undoubtedly played a role in Natasha's struggles. Natasha's troubled past also includes heartbreaking episodes of attempted self-harm and suicide. These incidents shed light on the internal battles she faced, emphasizing the importance of mental health awareness and support. In 1998, at the age of 14, Natasha went missing, and the nation held its breath as the search for her unfolded. The disappearance. The morning Natasha vanished started like any other day, her mom dropping her off at school, blissfully unaware that their routine would soon be disrupted by a mystery that would grip the entire community. Now, remember, this was a time when the Rockhampton community was already on edge, thanks to the chilling presence of Leonard Fraser, a local serial killer causing fear and unease. Natasha's sudden disappearance only intensified the collective anxiety, as folks feared the worst, another victim of Fraser's sinister spree. Natasha's name became a rallying cry, echoing through the tight-knit community. Her friends, family, and even law enforcement joined forces for a frantic search. Imagine a town coming together, fueled by a mix of desperation and determination, all united by the singular goal of finding Natasha. Days turned into weeks, and then months, with no sign of Natasha. The initial spark of hope that she would be found safe slowly dwindled. Natasha's mother, Jenny Ryan, grappled with the agonizing uncertainty of not knowing her daughter's fate. Imagine the emotional roller coaster she must have ridden, from hope to despair, all while clinging to the possibility that Natasha would walk through the door any moment. Jenny Ryan was haunted by the torment of not knowing her daughter's fate. She spoke with a mother's grief when she said, "I don't believe Natasha would have let me go through all the pain if she was out there." The Rockhampton community, already reeling from the impact of Fraser's reign of terror, united in their quest to bring Natasha home. Strangers became allies, neighborhoods transformed into search zones, and the collective determination to find Natasha was palpable. It was a stark reminder of the resilience that can emerge when communities face adversity together. Natasha's mother faced a torment unlike any other. the grim inevitability of her daughter's tragic end loomed large. Months turned into a year, and on what would have been Natasha's 17th birthday, the community gathered for a heartbreaking memorial service, a poignant farewell to a daughter lost to the shadows. The serial killer. Fraser's crime spree was like something out of a nightmare. In the tumultuous aftermath of Natasha Ryan's disappearance, the spotlight turned to Leonard Fraser as a potential suspect. It was assumed that Natasha had become another name on the list of the sinister predator, Leonard John Fraser. Fraser, already infamous for his reign of terror that spanned over 2 decades, was a known predator with a chilling criminal record. His crimes, marked by brutal violence, left an indelible mark on the community, creating an atmosphere of fear and distrust. As law enforcement delved into the mysterious disappearance of Natasha, Fraser's proximity to the case raised eyebrows. The seemingly random nature of his crimes and his history of preying on vulnerable women made him a prime suspect in Natasha Ryan's vanishing act. The community, already grappling with the grim reality of Fraser's atrocities, anxiously awaited developments in the investigation, hoping for answers that would bring closure to the haunting mystery. As the police scrambled to piece together the puzzle of Fraser's crimes, they were confronted with a disturbing pattern: his seemingly random choice of victims. This raised serious questions about the effectiveness of the criminal justice system in dealing with repeat offenders like Fraser. The community was left wondering how someone could slip through the cracks for so long. Ultimately, Leonard John Fraser was sentenced to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. His case remains a dark chapter in Australian criminal history, often cited in discussions about serial killers and the need for robust systems to manage and rehabilitate offenders. Here's where the story takes an unbelievable turn. The year was 2003, and Natasha was not only alive, but had appeared at the trial of the man accused of her murder. The world watched in amazement as this bewildering twist of fate played out. But it wasn't long before investigators realized that Fraser had no ties to Natasha Ryan. The boyfriend. Natasha and Scott's story begins with controversy. You see, during an earlier disappearance, Natasha was found after just 2 days, and guess what? Scott got slapped with a fine for obstructing the police during the search. His defense? Well, he claimed he was helping Natasha because she had threatened to end her own life. Now, let's fast forward to the bombshell. Natasha, the subject of a massive search that cost a whopping $151,000, had been hiding in plain sight for 5 whole years. Just 2.5 miles from her family's home, tucked away in Scott's house, hanging out in a cupboard like some kind of hidden treasure. They set up shop in Scott's beachside crib in Yeppoon, strolling along the shores under the cover of night, creating their own little universe far away from nosy onlookers. Now, you might be wondering, how did they pull off this sneaky act right under the noses of the people hunting for Natasha? Whenever someone dropped by Scott's place, Natasha's move was straight out of a hide-and-seek playbook. She'd vanish into cupboards. And if that wasn't enough, they had their curtains on permanent lockdown, shutting out the outside world and all those search efforts for Natasha. The couple were living a secluded existence, going to great lengths to stay hidden from prying eyes. The cupboard hideout was just one piece of the puzzle. Their secretive lifestyle challenged not only the assumptions about Natasha's disappearance, but also raised some serious questions about the effectiveness of the massive search operations that went down. As you can imagine, when the truth came out, it sent shockwaves through the community. The extensive efforts to find Natasha suddenly seemed like something out of a wild goose chase. The question on everyone's mind: how did she manage to evade detection for 5 whole years? The discovery. It's 2003, and the search for Natasha Ryan has gone cold. The whole town, the whole country, had been holding its breath, thinking she was gone for good. But then, out of the blue, a bombshell drops. In a surprising twist, long after Natasha's family believed she was gone forever, an anonymous note, believed to be sent by a relative of Scott Black, Natasha's boyfriend, provided the crucial tip. It contained a simple, powerful message: Natasha Ryan is alive and well. The discovery of Natasha Ryan in a house in North Rockhampton on April 10, 2003, was as startling as it was unexpected. For nearly 5 years, Natasha, who had vanished without a trace, was presumed dead by her distraught family and the wider community. The revelation that she had been living a mere 4 kilometers from her family's home, hidden from the world in a cupboard, sent shockwaves through the town and raised a multitude of questions. An anonymous tip, possibly from a relative of Scott Black, pointed the police to his home as they searched for Natasha Ryan. Natasha Ryan, the girl everyone thought was gone, was alive and well, just hanging out in a cupboard. The discovery is as shocking as it gets, and it leaves everyone scratching their heads. Now, the media went bonkers. Newspapers, TV stations, they all had a field day. The discovery of Natasha alive and hidden in a cupboard became the headline that nobody saw coming. People were glued to their screens, wondering how on earth this had happened. The town, already reeling from the shock of Natasha's disappearance, was now plunged into a new kind of chaos. As you can imagine, the aftermath of Natasha's discovery was like a tornado hitting town. And the big question on everyone's mind was, how did she manage to stay hidden for so long, and why in a cupboard of all places? It's the kind of mystery that keeps you up at night. Legal aftermath. The legal aftermath of Natasha Ryan's wild disappearance is about as crazy as the disappearance itself. The community poured a mind-boggling $151,000 into searching for her. Natasha's case became a subject of intense public and media scrutiny, with people seeking to understand how a young girl could vanish and reappear under such extraordinary circumstances. In 2005, Rockhampton District Court Judge Grant Britton handed down sentences that sought to address the deceit in the investigation into Natasha's murder. Natasha, too, faced her day in court. In the same year, she was found responsible for a false police investigation and was slapped with a fine of $1,000. However, Magistrate Annette Hennessy determined that Natasha did not have the financial means to pay the substantial costs associated with the investigation. Scott Black gets hit with a 3-year jail sentence for playing hide-and-seek with Natasha and helping her stay in the shadows. But here's the plot twist. They suspend that sentence after just 1 year. Scott, the accomplice in this whole escapade, isn't getting off that easy. He's convicted and slapped with a $3,000 fine. But that's not all. The court orders him to cough up a whopping $16,000 towards the investigation costs. For Natasha, the mystery of her actions persisted. She commented, "I know why I left. I'm not sure my mom and my sister completely know all the reasons. I'm not sure it would make any difference saying why I left. I feel whatever I say wouldn't be good enough for the pain I've caused my family." Leonard Fraser, who had been wrongly accused of Natasha's murder, met his own demise. He died of a heart attack in 2006. While the legal system had dealt with the consequences of Natasha's actions, the court of public opinion weighed in, questioning whether the couple should repay the hundreds of thousands of dollars spent on the search effort and the court costs incurred during the false murder charge against Leonard Fraser. It was a story that fascinated and perplexed in equal measure, leaving a lasting mark on the town of Rockhampton and the world at large. Life after controversy. Despite the legal struggles and controversies, their love story that veiled in secrecy for years took a new turn when they decided to make it official. On September 29, 2008, Natasha and Scott tied the knot, a wedding that garnered substantial media attention. Their story had become a whirlwind of fascination, and they were reportedly paid $200,000 by Women's Day for the exclusive rights to share their story before and after their wedding day. The media's eating it up, and people are glued to their TVs, wondering what happens next in this unbelievable tale. As the dust settled, Natasha and Scott faced the challenge of rebuilding their lives. Married life, family planning, it's all in the mix. As the years passed, Natasha and Scott expanded their family. By 2011, they had 3 children, age 7, 5, and 1. Natasha, who had once walked a path shrouded in deception, was now on the journey of motherhood, striving to create a stable and loving environment for her children. Natasha, the girl who once pulled a disappearing act and hid in a cupboard, is now on a journey to become a nurse. Talk about turning the page on a wild chapter. And there you have it, the unbelievable saga of Natasha Ryan, the girl who vanished and then emerged from the shadows in the most unexpected way. From her false memorial service, and the shockwaves that rippled through the community upon her discovery in a cupboard, to the legal aftermath and life after controversy, this tale has left us all on the edge of our seats. Join the conversation. Drop a comment to share your thoughts and insights. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more captivating content. Thanks for tuning in to Really Unreal. Stay curious, stay connected, stay with Really Unreal.